This is our training call for August for Leverage. We're so happy to have you all right here with us. All right, so we are going to be giving you some amazing training today on group program components. And I know we've had a lot of questions about group programs and also about live events connected to group programs. So we're going to be really focusing on your group programs today and what needs to happen for your group programs. And we do want to let you know, because we've had some questions about Instagram training and about live event training. So I just want to say that those are coming next week. We're going to do some Instagram training, so watch out for that. And then we've got more live event training coming as well. It seems that something happened technology-wise in the library, and we were just looking for all the live event training pieces, and we realized some kind of technology monster has eaten them up. So we're on it, and we're going to get all the live event pieces back in the library within the next 2 days. So just wanted to start off with that. And today we're going to be focusing on filling and leading your group programs. And I want to start off with announcing the winners of the launch contest. So this is really exciting. We want to just acknowledge everyone for posting your incredible launch plans, first of all, and really see how writing out your launch plan is a way for you to get really clear on exactly what you're doing and when you're doing it. So it's not just out there in the ethers somewhere, but you know for yourself, this is what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. So that's a really important step. And if you haven't gotten that piece, just making sure you're doing it for yourself. And we want to acknowledge a couple of you who really posted high level plans. I'm going to go through what they look like so that you can be clear as well on some steps. And if you feel like, oh, this is something maybe I could add into my launch plan as well, you can just take that for yourself. So we're going to talk about 2 of the winners, and both of these winners receive hot seat coaching on the September Q&A call with Sage on the biggest challenge that's in your business. So you 2 are going to want to come to that call prepared to ask your biggest question and get coaching from Sage. All right, so the first winner is Jennifer Cruz. Congratulations. I'm so glad you're here. Woo, woo, woo. So excited for you. So I want to outline a little bit of your plan, and your plan was Catapult to Higher Success and Fulfillment Certification. 6-month virtual group training. You want 25 to 30 clients, and the investment level is $497 a month, or a total of $2,699 if they pay in full. So this is great for those of you just crafting more details in your launch plan. Have those both pieces. How many people do you want? What's the monthly amount? What's the full pay amount? And your marketing funnels are Facebook Live in an affiliates page, July 30th. So looks like you already did that. Yeah, I'm seeing you nodding. Did that happen yet? Awesome. And then the first 3 steps towards building a meaningful life, a 1-day free workshop on August 10th. So that's coming up soon. And 3-day challenge in your private Facebook group. And then your 4th funnel is a signature talk at a meetup group. And the 5th funnel is a free webinar with the start date being August 27th. So what's really hot about this is you're going for it full out. You're using a lot of different strategies online and in person with 25 to 30 clients at $497 a month. And that's just a really great price point and great number of people to go for. And it's over $12K a month in income. So that's going to really set you up for stability in your business and allow you to continue moving towards expansion. So I just want to hear a couple words from you, Jennifer, of how it's going so far in the launch, if you want to unmute yourself. Yes.
Hear me now?
Yes.
It's going well. Surprisingly, the clients that are coming are all wanting help with business, which is something that I didn't expect.
Mm.
But it's going really well. I've pushed some of the dates a little bit because
Uh-huh.
of my daughter. But I'm really excited. I found the venue and everything to do my talk. So that's going really well.
Good.
A really nice venue, actually, close to my house, which is amazing. And yeah, with the affiliates, I'm getting more clients. I'm getting more experience. I mean,
Mm.
I'm doing a lot of things that I've never done. So it's
Mhm.
pretty scary.
Yeah, you're
But it's
stretching
giving
yourself.
me good results. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I haven't been doing this the whole time. I just didn't have, obviously, leverage. I didn't have the knowledge. But now that I do, it's having better results than I expected.
Mm, beautiful. Thank you. And I'm glad that you're stretching yourself and you're really leaning in to use some of these new tools. And that's really the point because many of you have established businesses already, and then there's aspects that you haven't used or you feel you're resistant to. And this is a great time to open up to starting to just try them on. So, congratulations for trying them on.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Yes, you're welcome.
I will so appreciate that hot seat
Mm,
training call. That's going to be the next one. Is that
yeah,
tomorrow?
so no, it's going
Okay.
to be on the September call with Sage.
In September. Okay.
So
Make sure to
the
write it down. That
September,
sounds amazing. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. September Q&A call. So you can double check the date on that one, but just making sure you're ready for that.
September. Okay. I will make sure to write it down.
Yes. All right. And we've got one more winner. And I think you're here too. Yes, you are. It's Rachel Cooley. I see you're not on video right now, but congratulations, Rachel. Oh,
Yay!
yay! Here you are. Woohoo! So, Rachel, I just want to read a little bit about your plan. It's the Angel Mentor certification program, and you're going for 10 to 12 clients. And I know at the point you had posted, you already had 2 as a full yes. So I'd love to hear an update from you there. But the investment level is $397 a month or $1997 in full pay. And your marketing funnels were 2 or more signature talks. And I know you've been doing them at the bookstore and where you've been established. We've talked about that, the value of having you doing the talks at an established location where you've been doing this for a long time now. So you're going to continue on with those, as well as follow up with your interested potential clients in a 3-day Facebook challenge. 1 or 2 of those, you said it in your plan. And a 1-day angel workshop, your Facebook group, so nurturing your Facebook group, networking, word of mouth referrals, and your angels and archangels supporting you. So your word of intention was, I can do this and I'm fully supported. So it's a really hot title. That's one of the things we noticed. So the angel certification program is a hot title and it's a unique positioning in the industry. And also because you're using certification as part of the title, we know that intrigues people more and they think, oh, I want to add this to my work. It creates a higher value. So really well done, Rachel. This is so good for you. At 10 clients at $400 a month is awesome. And we want to consider giving you a raise sometime soon as well. So you might be going more for like $500 a month. So I'm curious how you feel about that and how your launch is going so far. Unmute you. There you go.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So what should I answer first?
How is the launch going so far? How many people do you have enrolled right now?
Okay, so I have 2 enrolled right now, and I have another one that I'm following up with this week that's really interested. And I have my 1-day, I'm calling it now a master class for healers that's happening on the 17th. So right now, my main focus is to get more butts and seats for that because that's leading one of my funnels into my certification program.
Awesome. Great. So get more butts and seats right now is the plan.
Get more butts and seats right now for that event and make my offer.
Awesome.
That event. Yes. Yes. And I've also done some signature talks at a local yoga studio also. That's like another venue of mine that I use.
Good. Good. I love that you're getting out there so consistently. And how do you feel about the potential of a raise?
I feel good about it, but I'm wondering how would I play that since I already said it was a particular price for some people. I mean, do I just...
No, well, we're saying for next time. So it's great for you to fill this one, feel like you've got it full, you've got the testimonials, but just know that you're moving in that direction. So one of the things you can start saying is this is the lowest rate it's ever going to be.
Okay. I like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jump in now.
Yeah, jump in now because it's not going to be staying this way. You know, next year we've already got our plans in place and it's going to be this amount. And so you'll want to jump in and join us for the certification this year.
Cool. Thank you, Megan. I'm super excited.
You're welcome, Rachel. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So stay tuned for all of you because we're going to be having some other contests. We're going to have a $10,000 a month contest coming up for anyone who has a 10K month before the end of 2019. Some of you already have. So if you can do another one and make it even more smooth and efficient this time, and or even you want to stretch yourself and go for higher, those of you who are already at 10K and you want to expand to more, we'll have some extra credit and prizes for you. So we're going to have details about that coming in September, but just want you all to know that there's more contests and ways to play coming up. And so important to get to feel this sense of playfulness in your business growth, that it's not so serious, that how can you have fun with it and with each other. All right, so we've got a lot of handouts today, a lot of training to get through, and I want to make sure that we also have some time for questions about it. But I just want to call your attention to a few handouts. So in your library, you've got handouts for group program components, affiliate cheat sheet, an example calendar, launch calendar, and re-enrollment. And I'm going to be screen sharing some of the handouts with you, but just so you know, these are the ones we're focusing on and they're in there for you already. And I just want to start with speaking about a couple of things that I've definitely noticed from filling group programs that I needed to shift in my own mindset. So there's 3 major things to shift in mindset to be able to fill a group program, and then we'll dive into some handouts. So the first thing that I really had to do was embrace visibility and willingness to step into mentorship. I've been seeing Siddiqui posting about this on your Facebook page, actually, about embracing visibility. I know it's part of your upcoming launch as well that you're moving into. And this is really an essential piece, that when you're willing to step into mentorship, as you've done by being in Leverage, but by showing up to these calls, by asking questions on the Facebook page, seeing so many of you so active on the Facebook page, it's awesome. By really being willing to be visible in this container, then it supports you and being even more visible out there on your own when you're doing your talks, when you're doing your Facebook Lives, when you're doing posts on social media. So visibility is essential because your clients need to see you to be able to find you. Otherwise, they have no idea what you're doing. So that's the first one. The second one is more responsibility equals more freedom. So I just invite you to take a breath around that right now, trying that on. That more responsibility actually equals more freedom. We can have these wires crossed when we think, oh, if I'm responsible for all these clients, like Jennifer saying like 25 to 30 clients coming in, if she had those wires crossed and think like, oh, that's going to be a lot for me to be responsible for, maybe I should have less. Actually, when you have more people in a group, it allows you to link them up and have ways for them to be in connection with each other and feel supported by each other in a way that's really different when you have very intimate groups, like those of you that maybe in groups of, 4, 6, 8. I know when I had my early programs and I thought, oh, this is amazing. I'm never going to want more than 8 people in a program because it's so intimate. They completely relied on me. And I didn't notice what that difference was until I started to expand. And then the year that I had 25, that was a huge difference to just jump up from that. I think don't remember if I had something in between, but the 8 to 25, I think it was within 1 year. And I just felt like, oh, I actually have way more freedom because they're connecting with each other. They're setting up buddy calls. Even at retreats, they're, running off and connecting more with each other in a way that wouldn't happen when there's just that they're all there to be fed by you directly. So expanding and opening up to the idea that actually having more people in a program can allow you to have more freedom. And it definitely allows you to have more of that financial freedom in your business and more freedom to then be able to hire some support so that you don't have to do it all on your own. And the third thing that I really got from the mindset shift of starting to open up to fill group programs was that I didn't need to have it all figured out in advance. I didn't need to have all the handouts for the year created in advance. Far from it. They were more like getting created, that week prior, sometimes the day prior, let's be real, from when they were needed that first year. But then getting to build on that and use those same handouts and use those same tools, use those same videos, everything that got created in that first year for the next years made it so much easier. So be willing to build the plane as you fly it. You hear Sage talking a lot about that, but really letting that be okay. Because the other great thing about building the plane while you're flying it is you get to see exactly what your clients are needing. And you're meeting them where they are, and they feel that as well. So you don't have it all so tightly designed that there's no room for what they're saying they need and want, but you're really listening to that too. So those are the three things I wanted to say just around the mindset of filling your group programs at the beginning. And then we're going to get into a little more details about how you would lay out your launch. So the first thing I want to lay out for you is we have a handout for the Events That Change Lives launch. And we want you to just see exactly how we lay out the launch. So you'll be able to see our mailing calendar and just all the step-by-step details. And this should help because I know there's been some confusion around those kind of particular details. And so for the first time ever, Sage actually went through and laid out exactly how we mail for a launch with a Facebook challenge. And so those of you who are wanting to incorporate that in as well, this is more advanced information. So we've never had this one before. I'm going to go over there. Okay. I have a lot of handouts open on the screen. Let me get you the right one. All right. So the Events That Change Lives launch handout looks like this, and it's launch at a glance. So as she was requesting on this handout, this is just for leverage only, just keeping this private for yourself. This is able for you to be able to see all the behind the scenes of what happens for the launch. So start off, if you go onto the handout, you'll be able to see there's a link for eventsthatchangelives.com for the quiz of what type of workshop leader are you. So if you've never done that quiz or you haven't seen how that's set up, that's a great way for you to just take it yourself and get to see how that works if you're thinking about having a quiz. But this can just fill in for any kind of opt-in gift that you might have as your lead-in. And then there's a 5-day Facebook challenge that comes on the heels of the quiz. So once people opt in for the quiz, they get invited in to the Facebook challenge, and we go through all 5 days of what's happening. So the secret to workshop success. Day 2 is fill and monetize events to build your business. Day 3, teach them the $50,000 workshop recipe. Day 4, your event filling plan. And day 5, the freedom schedule. So these pieces are all available. If you go here, you can see some of the videos, the Events That Change Lives videos. Sage has talked about this before, but putting all of your Facebook Live videos downloaded on one sales page ultimately so that people could watch the videos back to back if they've already aired. So you'll see the links in here that take you right to the information. So you'll be able to take a look at that later. And for right now, the example promo calendar, I'm not going to go over it in detail because you're going to see it there, but just see, here's an example. So we've got mail to the quiz. There's some abbreviations here. So TY is thank you page, means that mail to the quiz, the thank you page after the quiz is the Facebook challenge. Let's explain some of the abbreviations. And then mailing to the people who opted in for the challenge. And then mailing to people who did not open their quiz results. And mailing to the quiz again. So we've got a lot of different pieces in here. This is literally exactly what was done. So you'll be able to see at the starts with 5 days before the challenge. So many of you have asked, well, when should I start mailing? So here's it, it's 5 days before the challenge, starting to mail out. And then 4 days before the challenge, 3 days, 2 days. Now, once the challenge is already started, you're mailing for the challenge, saying that it starts today. That's day one, and you're saying what the topic is for day one. And on day one in the afternoon, mailing a link saying, hey, this happened today, this challenge or this training happened today. Go watch it here, and here's a preview of tomorrow's topic. So you're emailing them twice a day. There's a morning email and an afternoon email. So I just want to highlight that and make that clear, because this may look like a lot of emails. It is. It's true. It's a lot of emails to be engaging with your list in this way, but this will lay it out in a very easy way so you know exactly what to do. Okay, in the morning, I'm sending, hey, join us for the call. In the afternoon, here's the replay of the call and what we're doing the next day. So it's pretty easy once you have it all laid out as far as what your topics are. And that's why we had that right at the top of, you start with understanding what your topics are going to be so that you're able to then craft your emails in advance. So you don't have to wait and do them on the day of. So that'll take you through the whole list of how you would write your email sequence. And then we've got a few different things for types of emails to send. So the free gift opt-in, reminder emails, replay emails, promotions with promotional emails that have client testimonials, links to the access page with all the videos. So we've got a lot of different options there that you can choose from, and it really lays them out clearly. Then we even have sample emails for you. So this is a pretty long document. I think this one's 7 pages, but you'll be able to see when you go through the document, here are all the examples for the emails. So we've got them drafted for you, which has been one of the requests to be able to see what you can do. So I'm just gonna stop the share and see here. All right. So remember, one thing I want to speak to is the how many emails to send. So we do have a handout for that as well. That's just called how many emails to send handout. So I just want to remind you that you might feel resistant to sending that many emails, but literally with every email that we send, we see progress. We see more people clicking and paying attention. And it's true that we also see unsubscribes, but don't be afraid of the unsubscribes, because a lot of emails just bounce, and people are really only seeing about 40 to 60% of the emails you end up sending. So that's why you do have to send repeatedly to get their attention. And it's totally normal to send multiple emails a day during a launch. You wouldn't want to be sending multiple emails a day all the time. People aren't going to want to see that from you, but just for that week of your launch, you're really offering them value. And that's what you need to remember, is that you're offering them a ton of value every day. So just write down questions if you have them right now, because I'm going to go through a series of a few handouts, and then we'll circle back around. But the next handout I want to bring your attention to is the filling and launching your group program handout. I know this is going to be a review for many of you, and it's really just about creating the 5 funnels for your group program. So you start promoting 2 or 3 months before your group program kickoff is going to happen, and you might be hosting 2 speaking engagements a month. Maybe one's online, one's in person. Maybe you're doing both in person. But really, the more you diversify by hosting a speaking engagement to an existing group that you have, like a meetup group, and then another to a group that you might market to on Eventbrite or Craigslist, or you're hosting at a friend's studio or office, and they're bringing in people. So you're not marketing too many speaking engagements in the same month, but having a couple works out, especially if they're to different audiences. So let me just see here. I have that handout. So that handout is going to be just your filling and launching your group program handout. So I know we've looked at that before, so I won't take the time to do that one right now, but that's just making sure you've got your 5 funnels, what we've gone over with your launch. So the next component for your program is really about, after you've got your outline, is really about mastering your enrollment conversations. So it all comes down to how strong your grow conversation is. And this piece, I would say, if you're feeling nervous about this aspect, now's the time to start booking a session with your coach and say, hey, I want to work on my grow conversation. I want to be prepared for this piece, because then when you get those amazing discovery sessions, you've gone to all this work to get people on the phone with you or on Zoom with you, and you want to feel strong in that conversation. The other thing is, of course, you can get connected with each other here and practice those grow enrollment conversations too. So if you haven't been doing that, do that piece. That's the second step for your launch. The third step to launching a successful group program is really having the structure and community and accountability set up. So that might be with a private Facebook page, or some of you have member sites that you're going to be having, or you're setting up, accountability calls and check-ins. But there's a lot of value in that structure, and money loves structure. So people invest when they feel a safety in a structure that you've created. So as you dial in your marketable program and really notice what your private clients are struggling with and what their journey is like, this will help you translate your body of work into a group program. So we use a membership page plugin because it's a WordPress site. So the Women Rocking Business site is a WordPress site, and we just upload all the handouts and the training calls, and use Audio Acrobat to host all the audios so that you can get the replay links. And that works really well for people who have a site like that. I also know some of you have talked about using Teachable. That's another great one. I've had lots of clients love Teachable. I've also used, oh my gosh, it's slipping my mind right now. Thinkific. And I've liked that. That's worked really well for me. So if you don't have, a WordPress site that allows you to have those private pages and plugins, no worries. There's a lot of platforms that are built just for hosting your course. So you'll want to have a place that you can host all those elements and have that outlined. And then we recommend the private Facebook page as well, because that's really easy to have people connecting there. And all you need to get started is just an outline. You don't need exactly what you're going to be doing in every class. Like I was talking about, build the plane as you fly it. But it is important to have some of that structure in mind to say, okay, where am I going to put people and what is that going to look like? So the next step, so that's the first 3 steps. The fourth step to your successful group program is managing your Facebook group. So in the third step, you created one. In the fourth step, it's managing one. So you get to set the tone in your community. And as you grow, you might have an assistant or a previous client or an intern help you monitor the page. But in the beginning, for most of you, you're going to be setting that tone and really monitoring the page. So removing any negative comments that people make, setting the kind of expectations for what kind of communication goes on the page. For instance, not having it just being a place where people are just marketing themselves, but they're really asking for help. And so one of the things that we do at the beginning of the year is talk about, when you're going to be asking for support and you're asking for help, are you also commenting on other people's posts? Are you giving support and giving help? And so we recommend a 3-to-1 ratio, that you're saying, 3 comments on other people's posts for every time that you're commenting or asking, rather, posting and asking for help. So that could be something that you might want to take on in your groups as well, and use some kind of a suggestion like that for a guideline. So the 5th component is launching your list and your email campaigns, and just beginning collecting email addresses when you're speaking. So these speaking engagements that you're getting on your calendar, making sure you're collecting their email addresses, and reminding clients of upcoming training calls, upcoming events, and really starting to auto-generate those emails. So not just sending them from your Gmail account, for instance, but using something, it could be simple, like MailChimp is one of the simplest ways to get started. But having somewhere where you're collecting emails. And then the sales page to sell the course. And this is actually optional. So it's not required that you have a sales page. We've had great success without sales pages during enrollment calls, because you can just have all the information written down for yourself. You're having to grow a conversation with someone, and you're in a really customized experience with them, and then you're taking the payment for the deposit right there on the call. You don't need to have the sales page. So if that feels like that's overwhelming, or you're like, oh gosh, I don't know anything about that, I'd have to hire someone to make the sales page, you can just have it drafted out on Word document or a Google Doc for yourself to see, and you don't have to be showing them. The other way you could do it is creating a PDF as well that you could send them after a call if they want to see something. So you might not have it on the landing page, but you'd have it in a PDF format too. So have it drafted out for yourself, and then it's an option to have the sales page live for people. So I want to screen share a little bit about the calendar piece. So many of you started calendaring at the Wealth Retreat already. So keep working on that. Bring it to your coaching sessions with your coach. This is really how we avoid spinning out, getting overwhelmed. So I'm going to just shift over to share the calendar. So we have this example calendar. There we go. Bring this over. So the example calendar, and here we have the full year. So January, research for entrepreneurial meetups, networking groups, co-working spaces, schedule a talk for February, and then February, 2 speaking engagements. One of them that you're filling and one that's an established group, and then a 1-day event, discovery sessions. So having speaking engagements also means that you need time in your calendar for discovery sessions. So having that marked off and that space marked off for yourself in advance, so that you're not like, uh-oh, because I've heard that from a few people saying like, oh, I had this speaking engagement and then I had way more people there than I expected, and I had 20 people wanting discovery sessions. Well, that's great. That's the best case scenario. And you've got to have the time in your calendar to make sure you're making room for that kind of goodness. So are you making space in your life and yourself for what you're calling in? Just checking out those things as you're making the calendar. And March, again, a couple speaking engagements, and you'd have time also marked in there to have your discovery sessions. April, a couple more speaking engagements. Also having a free gift that leads to a webinar and discovery sessions. So you can see the system here. There's discovery sessions happening every month, ideally. And the webinar in the first week of the month, and people could book discovery sessions right on the webinar with you. So you'd be releasing your link for the discovery sessions. May, a program launches. So you can see how it's really 3 months, February, March, April, where it's solid with speaking engagements, a couple speaking engagements every month, and then having the webinar and discovery sessions. So that's a pretty straightforward launch. And then after the program launches, there's fulfillment and also some rest time, some spaciousness in there. And again, June, fulfillment and rest. Now, in this plan, she also wanted to do a telesummit. So starting to think about that, the telesummit starts to happen, it looks like in October. And here in June is when she's finding speakers. So thinking about that in advance. So finding speakers, and July also finding speakers. August, setting the telesummit infrastructure up, starting the launch pages and getting the technology organized, writing the emails out, doing some interviews, prep for the summit in September, and then October, the actual summit begins and list building is happening. And posting again here, the idea is opening the doors in December for a program, or opening up to private clients or VIP days. So there was a few different pieces in here, but it was basically a second launch. So this looks like having 2 launches within 1 year with 2 different strategies. So that's why I wanted to show this as an opportunity for you to see, okay, how could I have 2 launches within the year, still have some rest time, and be able to fill overlapping programs. So that is in, stop the share, that's in your library as well. So you can take a look at that handout, but it just gives you an idea of how you might do a couple launches within 1 year. So I'd love to open it up for some questions, and just check in with you about what you really feel like you need so that you can move forward. And also, if you feel like you need more around group program planning or affiliate questions. We know we've had some questions about affiliate questions, but I'll just open it up for you to raise your hands. I'm going to go over so I can see that. And Anne, I see your hand. I'll take that one first, and then I'm going to go over to the little raised hands on the side. Hi, Anne.
Excellent, thank you. My question was on the sales page stuff that you gave. Is there a copy of example sales pages in the library at all? The reason I'm asking is I think as a personal trainer, movement coach person, my sales page might look differently than like a speaking sales page, like coach type of person, motivational speaker. So I didn't know if like mine would be a 3-page brochure or that I could hand out to people, or if that, or what the sales page looks like on a landing page.
Yeah, so
I had questions about what it might look like for me.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely, as far as landing page sales pages, if you go on Sage's website, just on womenrockingbusiness.com, then we've got some different pages there for the different offerings, programs like events that change lives, or different program sales pages. So you can see those examples. But for you, it could be that you have a brochure version to hand people when you're in person with them. And then also you could make that same thing translated online. So you don't have to make 2 different things. You would basically just have that same information in a printed version that you can hand people.
And so what information is on a sales page?
Yeah, so the main information on the sales page is the modules of your program, what you're offering people. So the steps that you'd be really taking them through. So a sales page will have the name of your program. It's going to have the essentially speaking about the challenges that people are facing. So they know, oh yeah, this is me. I'm facing these challenges. And then how you solve those challenges and through the modules of what you teach in your program.
Okay.
And then you would have a link on there to book a discovery session with you. So for a program sales page like that, you're not offering the direct sale of the program. You know, that would only be for a lower price one.
What the program looks like, and then talk to me about it if you're interested.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Exactly.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great question. Thank you. And let's see, Yamaya.
Hi there.
Hi. Hi.
so I just launched my 7 months program.
Congratulations.
And I have this bag, and as of today, I got my first $10,000 month.
Yes!
But I have a question, so I needed the money. So I really pushed the full payment. And I'm wondering, so I had a few full payments. And then because I really wanted some people to access, that first cohort of my program, I did do some half price, that I call scholarships. I'm just wondering if, in your experience, is it better to keep it with the monthly payment? Is it easier for people to do the monthly payments than pushing for the full payments? Because I'm going to do another launch, and I'm going to do the 3 for the same program. I'm going to have 3 different times. I'm going to do another one in October and another one in January. And so for the next one, I'm wondering, now that I don't have that emergency, if I should do the not push so much for the full payments.
Yeah, so the full payment, the idea is always your full payment would be lower than when people pay in monthly installments. But when you're talking about bringing it down to half the price, obviously that's a huge incentive for people to go ahead and pay it. But you're not going to be making the sustained income that you want. So you've solved the problem for the moment. But the larger question is then, how is it going to be consistent? And, anytime you can get people paying in full, that's great, but you want to value really the price of your program. Like this is the price. So I would say for the next round, now that you've got this cohort going, for the next round, have it as, you have your prices set for monthly payments. And if someone can't invest at that level and they're needing you to negotiate on the price, I would recommend just stretching the payments out a little longer rather than reducing it. So you're allowing them to pay over a couple more months, rather than reducing it so drastically. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, but congratulations on getting the first cohort started and your first 10K month. Yes.
I have another quick one. You mentioned Craigslist, and you guys have mentioned it a few times. Do you really guys get results from Craigslist?
Yeah, Sage uses, or the team sets it up on Craigslist, and that is one of the places that we get a lot of people coming to the meetups and coming to the talks from.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I personally use Eventbrite and get most of my people coming to talks from Eventbrite too. So I think it depends on maybe the area you're in and what people are searching, but I definitely, I would just say use them all, because you can use Craigslist, you can use Eventbrite, you can use Meetup, and you're posting the same thing. So it just takes literally an extra couple minutes to be able to copy and paste it over to those different avenues. And then having it also as a Facebook event too. So if you think about how many places could you have people's eyes on the same thing.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Megan.
Thanks. All right. Audrey, you've had your hand up for a long time. Getting over to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Thank you. Yeah, so my question is about my launch plan. And I wonder, because I have a really good feeling for my business about Facebook ads. So I wonder if I could base my launch on Facebook ads that lead to an automated webinar, that lead to a discovery session, that lead to my programs, 2 programs. Is that something that can be done? Do you think that, because I personally don't think that my clients are going to be in my hairdresser's place or a meetup. I think that reaching out to people via Facebook, I'm really good with Facebook ads. I do that to my clients. So I wonder if reaching out through Facebook would be a smart decision in this case.
Yeah, Facebook ads are just a bigger investment. So that's the thing to be really watching when you're doing Facebook ads, to see how are they converting as far as how many leads are coming in. Typically, it'll be an investment of $2 or $3 per lead added to your email list is what we consider a good conversion. I know some of you have had better success than that as well. So that would be a way to start watching to see, oh yeah, if this is really working well, is it better than that? So that's definitely an option. I just wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket of thinking like it has to only come through the Facebook ads. Because I think that you could also, have a talk and just choose a location that you want to host it in and really market that as well, because people that want to meet you in person, it's a different feel than just getting you on the webinar. So that's why we always still recommend that one. I mean, we're doing it tonight. Some of you may be coming. We're in Santa Cruz tonight, and Sage and I are leading a meetup. And so it's still something that we're using, even though her online presence is so strong that it's a major way that people still want to come and connect in person.
Right.
So I just wouldn't cut that part out completely.
Right. And I have just one more question, and it is about my program. Like having my program, because I'm going to at some point record my program and have videos and do the Q&A live. But at the moment, I want to do my classes live.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if this is something that is a feature to be advertised. If this is like an appealing thing instead of having videos and having the Q&A live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can definitely do that and do it that way as well. Yeah, you don't have to just having the Q&A live, like you're saying, have the recorded webinar, but then do the Q&A live.
Yeah, because it's my first, because I have clients and I have direct clients. It's my first group. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if it would be, what is your take on it, to have the classes recorded and then have the live Q&A, or having the live class as a featured thing on my launch,
Yeah, I mean, well, we could have just, for instance, had all of these recorded, like all the training segments pre-recorded, but the reason that we do them live is so that there is more option for Q&A even within the training segments. So that's the benefit of having them that way. And then, the way we do events that change lives, for instance, though, is having it all pre-recorded and then just having the Q&A calls. So it's not one right or wrong way. It's just knowing, like, how do you want to be delivering to your clients for the material? And generally, the higher end the program, the higher the investment, the more they'll want the interaction and the ability to ask the questions. Where a lower investment program, then they're fine usually watching the videos, doing that, and then having some Q&A calls added in.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for the questions, Audrey. And Yvonne.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. Let's see if I can get in 2, maybe 3 questions. First one is about teachable.com that you mentioned. And I'm intrigued by that. When I did my beta program, I used Zoom to deliver the group content, and then I posted a link on the client Facebook page. I just had 3 clients. Mm-hmm. That's how I did that. But you mentioned something about Teachable, so I'm curious, should I be doing it in a space like that?
So that would be a place to host your recordings. So that would be, so if you're right now, let me understand how you did it. So you had a private Facebook group, and then you posted a Zoom link for people to join you on the Zoom call. And then,
well, we did the Zoom call. I got the Zoom link to them. We did the program on Zoom, just like this. Just
yeah.
like
Great.
And
Mhm.
afterwards for them to refer back to, or if they had missed the meeting, then that's how I use the Facebook private group, client group, to put the link to the Zoom. I uploaded the Zoom video.
Got it. Mhm.
Yeah.
So that can work well when there's just a few people like that. So an intimate group. The challenge is when you get into larger groups, then the links get buried and people will be asking, where is this? I know I saw it posted, but now I can't find it. And it's just not as straightforward as you see looking in the library, how it's laid out with here's every month and the handouts right beside it. And
Sure.
so yeah, it's a great way to get started. And I think ultimately expanding into having some kind of a platform that you feel good about uploading all the materials on is a great way to go.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you very much. About meetups, I'm thinking of converting one of my signature talk venues possibly into a meetup venue. And I'm just curious though, how do you structure a meetup? Is that me showing up with content that I give, or am I creating a discussion? I don't want to be doing my signature talk in a meetup situation because I've already got time set up in that venue for my signature talk.
Well, it is technically the same thing. Like when we're talking about doing meetups, we're talking about delivering a signature talk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the meetup is just basically an avenue to advertise your signature talk.
Oh.
To give you that group of people that can come and attend. But the great thing about the signature talk is I know it sounds like there's just one of them, but what we recommend for using the meetup style is that you would have a series of slight variations on those trainings. And then you can pull from them. So you might have like 6 different variations of key things that you train. And then you can be using those in rotation for meetups. So even over multiple years, once you create them, then you'd be able to use them again and again.
Okay. So the meetup is not necessarily a social gathering of
Right.
let's talk across each other and get to know each other. It's a targeted, I'm the leader, you're here to receive from me.
So like how we're going to lead tonight, I know because we've done it before, that way is we just market it out on Facebook, we market it out on Craigslist, market it on Meetup to the group of people that pay attention there. And, and then people sign up and they come to the talk. So Meetup is only one of the avenues that people are finding out about it on. And then there'll be a component at the beginning, usually where it'll say like, meet the person next to you, we'll have a question posted to ask the person next to you, get connected. And then it comes back to introducing what we're here for, the topic. So we're doing like stories that sell tonight. And so we're going to have an actual topic that we're teaching on, and then giving people the opportunity to get a little laser coaching and ask questions. Yeah. And then at the very end, we'll usually put people into pods of like meeting, 2 or 3 other people and some sort of mini networking thing. But it's not very much time is going to be spent on that component. So I know traditionally meetups have that idea, like you're just there to meet up and hang out. But that's not how we use the forum. It's just basically to get people gathered together who have the same interest, who in this case want to build their business, and then learn something at the meetup and meet each other as well.
So it's a very interactive workshop.
Exactly. It's like thinking of it as a mini workshop.
Okay. All right. Well, I have to really rethink how my meetup strategy, but that was very helpful. Very
good. I'm glad you asked, because this is really important for everyone to hear, because I think that the challenge can be, if you're doing a lot of meetups that are really about just like, let's meet up and network, the challenge can be you're leaving yourself out of it as the leader. Yeah. And people aren't necessarily seeing you. And I know, because I've done this before too. When I first started, before I had this training, I was like, oh, I'll just do this and I'll meet amazing people and they'll just be so drawn to me, they'll want to hire me. That's not true. They're just like, thanks for creating this wonderful women's circle. I just love everyone in it. And I love coming for free every month. And I'm like, oh no, this is a nightmare. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
One more question.
Yeah.
And it's simple. Are Eventbrite and Craigslist, are those free for posting events?
Craig, yeah, both of them are, as long as it's not paid. So I know that Eventbrite has, if you're doing tickets, then you have to pay for the ticket. Like, like you have to pay them a fee because they're running a credit card essentially through, so you pay that credit card fee.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great questions. All right, Haley.
Hello. So kind of, it's perfect on the heels of that because
Great.
I sent out I contacted 4 different venues using kind of email templates for my signature talk. One of them came back and said that they're not booking any new people, I think until literally like October or something, and they're accepting new proposals in September. So that feels too far off for my launch.
Yeah.
Great for other things, but just for this particular launch. So I'm kind of just struggling. I think that was like a week and a half ago or so. I'm just sort of struggling with like, if I'm not hearing anything back from the other ones, where do I go from there? And what are some other options? Because I need to get these like on my calendar this month.
Yes, you do. So I think because you're in San Francisco, right? So I'm familiar with searching for event space here. And I would look at breather.com or Peerspace, PEER.
I think that's a good differentiation too. So far, I have contacted places that would have like an existing community also market to. I've done, I think, 3 yoga studios, and then one's like a yoga / like spiritual center.
Yeah, and that's great to have those connections. I would just reach out to them again and or go in person and see if you can talk to a manager. Those kind of pieces. But
and also, like you're suggesting, I should maybe just put some on the books that are like, I just get a space and do my talk and market
it. Exactly. So you're just marketing it and getting it out there, because then you're not waiting for someone else to give you permission. You're just getting a space.
How many would you recommend that I do like that?
Well, it's great to do. I mean, for all of you, what we were recommending is that you do 1 a month like that. And then through a launch period. So it might be like 3 months of this, like 1 a month like that, and 1 a month of connecting with someone else as well that can help you market.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so in an ideal world, right? But I know it doesn't always happen that way, that there's another place to be able to book.
Yeah, that's why I just want to know, like, in worst case scenario, if no one comes back, like allowing me to do that in the time that I need, would you say to then just do 2 on my own this month? Or
I would still say you could just focus on 1, but keep your attention on like building the awareness around that 1 and attracting people to that 1 to get started with, so that there's like really everybody gets to know about that. And then if people are saying like, oh, I would really love to come, but I can't come to that one, like then you're making sure you're noting down who are these people and reaching back out to them. And I see Rachel nodding, and she's doing a lot of this, so she'd be a good one to connect with as well, because I know in your promoting at the bookstore too, I'm sure you're tracking those things. Like when people say, oh, I wish I could come to this one. And, sometimes those people don't show up. I've had that experience where people will regularly comment but not ever come to something. But maybe you want to get on the phone with them. Like maybe it's just never going to work for them because their work schedule conflicts with when you're usually doing talks. And so can you get into, a Facebook Messenger dialogue with them and starting to say like, hey, I've noticed you really show interest in the talks, but you haven't been there. What's up? I did that with someone, and she's like, oh, I always work on those times. And like, so just setting up a discovery session instead.
Well, that's so helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great questions.
I'm so sorry to unmute myself, but I can't raise my hand. I don't know why.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, it's just,
Is it
yeah, it's
because you
not
have
showing.
you have to allow it or something?
No, but
I have
go
no
ahead.
idea why I can't find it for some reason.
I can explain also for anyone that might be having trouble with that. If you go to participants at the bottom of your screen and then you click on that, it'll open up, you find your name. And then when you click on more beside your name, it'll have the hand raise possibility.
More.
It should.
Oh.
But go ahead with your question. But that way at least it'll help people with that may not find it.
I was just wondering if the meetup thing, do you guys do it, once you do it, can you do it just once or you have to do it like every month or something like that?
Good question. So Meetup, the advantage of having a Meetup group is that people will join your Meetup group over time. And so you sign up for 6 months at a time with Meetup.
6 months
And
at a time.
you pay for that membership. And then I think they have different tiers of depending on how many people you have in your Meetup of if you need to pay or how much you pay.
Okay.
But you sign up for 6 months at a time. And then the idea is that as people join the Meetup, they get notifications every time you're hosting a speaking engagement or hosting an event. And so it's great for you to be able to say, yes, I'm doing this, I'm hosting this. And then you get to announce it. It's like an announcement. Think about it. I'm trying to think of the easiest way to explain it. Like an announcement tool, like an email newsletter, like they're getting notified, and many of them will actually get an email directly through Meetup saying, hey, the new Meetup was announced, do you want to attend? So
okay, one more question, if I may, because I'm trying to give a talk at one of the meetups because I decided to go with English instead of Spanish, so I found the meetups that have expats that live in Spain. But so far I haven't been able to connect yet. Like I'm working on a couple leads and talking to the people that run the meetup. But I don't know if it would just be better to just create my own, because then I make sure that the people that come are interested in what I'm, right?
Yes, create your own and align with other people's meetups. You can do both, but definitely we recommend creating your own.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right. I'm just looking here. I know I had one more thing I wanted to show you. I'm going to go back to questions in a moment, but I just wanted to make sure. I'm going to screen share one more thing here. I see lots of hands. I will come back. But I just wanted to make sure that I show you the success tracker, because this is a handout we just added in, and this is what we're going to be wanting you to start to fill in the success tracker for leverage. So as you go, filling this in monthly, so shade in the stars as you go, and then take a photo and post it on Facebook. So you can actually, you can check them off like that too. I have it open just in Adobe right now. So it would allow me to type in here, I work with, and then get to type in. So you could share it that way just from typing it on your screen, or you can print it out and fill it in. But filling that in and then posting it on the Leverage Facebook page. So your niche, what your talk title is, what's the location of your next talk title, name of your last 1 to 3 clients, goal. So if you have a goal for a group program and for individual clients, have you launched your Facebook page, how to find the Facebook page if others in the group are looking for it and they want to join your page. Do you have an instant gratification gift? Venue of your first event for those of you that are planning events, and spring cleanings. So we talked about that at the wealth retreat as well, but the spring cleaning opportunity to just clear out kind of what's in the way, basically. What's in the way for you, but around leading your next event? What do you have on that's holding you back around your visibility? Then we've got weekly self-care routine, includes any nonprofit work you're giving back to, referral partners, and big goals. So wanted to draw your attention to that. Make sure you know about the success tracker and that you are posting that. So filling it in, I know you're not going to have necessarily every single thing, like you might not have a venue for a live event happening, no problem, or you might not have a Facebook group yet, but you're doing the speaking engagements, but just starting to notice for yourself, what are the components you're doing, and also including that self-care aspect too. So I am going to attempt to go back here. Stop the share. Okay. And I want to hop back into some Q&A, but I just wanted to make sure you saw that last handout because I didn't get to that piece. And let's see, Obsidian, what do you got?
Hello, thank you so
Hello.
much.
You're welcome.
So, ladies, oh my gosh, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but I'm just really looking for some support around mindset in launch time, and keeping myself like in that knowingness and that inner certainty and in that confidence that it's all going to work out and the clients are going to find me, and kind of like releasing the fear. Because like I feel like strategy is so great and we can have all the strategy and all the plans in the world, but if our energy isn't behind what it is that we're doing, there's a huge disconnect.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I just need some support around that.
Yeah. So what's coming up for you?
I think I just feel like I feel nervous about like just continuously putting myself out there and being like a broken record, or people not really receiving me or wanting to sign up, and I'm exuding all of this passion, all of this energy, and it's just not being received in the way that people are like ready to sign up for my program. Maybe they're receiving it and they're like, oh, that was a beautiful post, or oh, I really feel her passion, but they're not taking that extra step to invest in themselves with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you feel like there's not, they're engaging to a certain level, but they're not investing in themselves. And then what are you making up from that?
I think that's the fear really, because I had this when we were at the wealth retreat. Yamaya kind of gave me this really quick reading, which is really powerful. And it just was resonant that in my past, I've always kind of like launched myself forward before I was like always ready, before I had completely prepared myself energetically. And I think in mentally and emotionally and it's not like, I just did the Facebook challenge recently last week and it was really successful, but on the last day, I didn't feel called to start like trying to get women from that challenge into my program. Like it just didn't feel like it was right to start talking about that.
Oh, this is a good one. Oh, okay. So why didn't it feel right to start talking about your program after you had given them a ton of value and free training?
I think I was like scared, I was scared that I would just like be like, oh, let's book a discovery call, and no one would do it. And then I'm continuously,
Yeah. Oh, so just be with that feeling for a moment, the emotion that rises up when you think, oh my gosh, what if I put myself out there and then I invite them to book a call and no one books a call. So better yet, I'm not going to invite them so that I won't know if they would have or would want to book a call. How many of you have ever done this at a talk or online? Yeah. And I'm raising my hand like, really, yes, I have too. And I know that feeling when you walk out and you're like, oh yeah, I didn't feel quite ready. But then there's the piece of, well, people aren't signing up. And this goes back to the visibility aspect of a willingness to be seen and be seen making an offer, and to know that it's not like a dirty thing to make an offer, to invite people into a free breakthrough session with you where you're going to give them customized support and specific next steps. And this is why it's important to understand what is that breakthrough session called, and really know in yourself that whether they sign up or not, for the program, that them having that session with you is going to be a huge value.
Mm.
And the ones who are called to do more want that. They want the opportunity that you can give them. And this is for all of you to be osmosing as well. Like, yes, this is, they want this opportunity to be able to say, oh yeah, give me more of Obsidian.
Mm.
And when you don't give them a next step or an opportunity to do more, it's just kind of like, oh, there it is. That's all I've got for you is the challenge and the training. And you know that that's not all you've got for them, that you have so much more to give them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not over. There's the opportunity for you to get to hop back on and you know, offer a bonus training and invite people in to really be clear about that offer of why it's important for them to hop into a discovery session with you in that next step.
Mm. So what would you, in your most successful launches, what was your self-care practice like? How were you taking care of your mind? Like what was kind of going on the scenes for you?
That's a big that's a big question. There's a lot of pieces. It's a good question. And it's essential. So as far as self-care, one of the things that I would always do is build in more time off during launch time than I would think I had time for. So booking like, you know, a 4-day getaway to unplug, for instance, in a month where I'm doing a lot of outward connecting and know that it's going to be okay if I don't like post every day and I don't do something for work every day, but I can just come back into myself. And then during launch days, and most like Epsom salt baths at night, candlelight, turning off the electronics, creating rules for myself about that, which I still do like in normal life now. It's just moved forward to like electronics go off. I'm with myself, getting to just let go of all the doingness that happens during the day. And another piece that I wanted to bring in for everybody is the fear melters, which you learned at the retreat if you stayed on for the combined portion with ELA, but I know not everybody was there. And I've also heard fear melters many times and forgotten. And this is just such a powerful piece of work. And I just came back from a week of intensive training with Katie and Gay Hendricks, who created the fear melters. So I want to bring that up for you right now and for everybody. And it'll also allow us all to just stand up for a moment. So fear melters are great to do anytime you're feeling, I'm going to stand up. This might make the camera weird, but anytime you're feeling like that you're getting tension in your body and fear is coming in, and there's 4 different primary ways that we feel fear. And so one of the ways is we go into fight. So if you're feeling like you want to like, I'll just frame it all within our businesses. So it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just offered this free training and nobody is even signing up for a discovery session. This is ridiculous. Or I just drove for 2 hours to give this talk and 3 freaking people showed up. How dare they? Don't they know the value of my time? So those of you who that's your go-to, or you feel that that's you sometimes, some version of that's that energy. It's this like, oh, tense. So just do that with your body for a second. It's like, yeah, oh, I'm so tense. And the opposite is to ooze. So you let your palms go and you start to move like seaweed. Imagine yourself in the ocean like, oh, I'm oozing. So now trying on like, oh, I drove for 2 hours to give a talk and 3 people showed up. That doesn't feel like what I really want to be doing. I wonder how I could create a different result. Right? It feels really different. I can't be in the like, feeling when I'm oozing. So fight to ooze. Another one is you feel like flee. So flee was a little bit of what I saw in that action obsidian of I'm just not going to offer. I'm just going to leave now. So not making the offer is that flee move. And it's like 1 foot out the door. So feel that, just try that on with your body. You've got 1 foot out the door. I'm kind of here, but I'm kind of not, because I don't know if this is a good idea. Maybe it's not for today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, in fact, I think I'm going to do it tomorrow. So you could turn around completely, right? That's the flee. So instead of flee, it's sumo. So sumo stance is rooting your feet into the ground. I like to think of this like a tree being planted, and the roots are just connected, and I'm connected into the ground. So you can bend your knees, you can put your hands on your thighs. You're like, I am right here. So if you're going to make an offer and you're feeling that, I don't know if it's a good time, I don't know if I should, I would literally, if I was sitting doing that, I would plant my feet into the ground and feel my hands on my thighs. I'm like, yeah, I'm making this offer. Yep, I'm on the video and this is happening now. And so if you feel that coming up, that like sumo kind of stance, rooting down into the ground makes a huge difference. So the other one is freeze. And freeze, everything just gets like narrow, tight, like, condensed. I'm going to freeze myself. So instead of narrowing your body and freezing, think about being like a little kid and you're just going to wiggle. Or like an animal. Like I see cats and dogs do this all the time. Like when my dog, like if I like get too close to her and like step on the edge of her tail or the edge of her paw or something, she'll jump up and then just wiggle her whole body, and then she's just looking at me and she's fine again, right? So the animals know how to wiggle off the tension, and instead we're just like, oh God, something happened, I'm going to just hold my breath for the next hour. And we're not obviously holding our breath for an hour, but we do hold our breath and we do tighten and narrow our bodies. So wiggling. And then the last one is, and I just want to say that when you're sitting, I'm going to do all of these like also as a sitting. So wiggling, you don't see that I'm wiggling right now while I'm talking to you. If I was feeling like frozen in my body, but what I'm doing is this with my hands. And I just have them in space, not like on my desk tapping, because you might hear that. Like right now I'm tapping, you'll probably hear that. So I just like wiggle it down at my side. And you can't see that I'm doing anything at all, but I know, oh yeah, I was freezing, holding my breath. And all of these require some deeper breaths too, but you can do subtle movements or big wiggles. But if you're leading the Facebook Live and you're like, I'm just going to wiggle my body out of context, unless you're teaching something like this, that may throw people off. So you can always do the subtle wiggle. I do them on stage too. I employ these all the time when I'm feeling frozen. And the last one is when you feel faint. So most people just talk about the three versions, like flee, fight, flee, and freeze are the three that get associated with fear most often. But what I love about Katie and Gay Hendricks' work is they bring in also the idea of the faint, because this is what happens when we go up into our heads and we start to get fuzzy and we just forget. So how many of you have had that experience, like especially if you're speaking, and you're just like, oh, I just kind of forgot what I was going to say. And so that is the faint. And so you can just try that on, like looking up, like, I don't know. It's gone. And instead, and you just feel kind of like stupid, but it's kind of, again, you'll feel you don't have any breath when you're in the faint, and it's just like, you're not here anymore. So to get here is really what they call love scoops, which means the idea of you're connecting in with your body with love and loving touch, because what happens when you faint is you're just gone from your body. You're no longer here. So the loving touch comes in, and I find that it's really helpful for me to actually feel like, oh, I can like squeeze my arms or squeeze on my legs, and I feel like, yeah, I'm here. Like this is a body that I'm in right now. We're here together, body, spirit. Like we're in this together. Don't leave. So that's the final one, like just scooping in some loving touch and attention. So those are some really simple ways. I do fear melters practice as turning on music. So you were saying, what do I do for self-care? This is one of my basic self-care moves. Every morning for 2 to 4 minutes, I just turn on some music and I do these fear melter moves moving around. So it's not like a structured dancing or yoga practice kind of movement. I do those things too, but this is something I can do anytime, no matter how little time I might have. There's always time for 2 minutes of fear melters. So just wanted to add that in for everybody to have, because I think it's so important as speakers and leaders that you've got these moves and tools.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I got to practice these. And I really love that you said in the morning, like having this be something that we're doing every day, because I find like, you know, the morning sets our tone for the rest of the day.
Yes. And that's why I do it first thing in the morning. So I did that like this morning. I knew I was going to be reading over notes for tonight's talk that I'm doing with Sage, and then this talk. And I could feel my busy mind being like, just sit down at the computer, just have your tea and sit down at the computer. I'm like, nope. I'm going to go do my fear melters and some yoga, and then I'm going to do a breathing practice. And and it took me probably about 20 minutes of like just movement practice between those things this morning. But I am all the way here in a way that I wouldn't have been if I just jumped right into reading notes. So get yourself all the way here. Yes. I see Kia waving. You're like, my hand's raised and it's moving, see me. So I'm gonna pick you now.
If it's okay, I just wanted to add something in for because I have to say I felt you so much in that like I just am not going to make an offer, because I mean really. But one of the things that really helped me when I was starting to do offers online instead of in person, because to me that's a really different ball game. Like you almost feel like you're offering it to air because there's nobody really there. Is I actually made, this was last year in ELA, but I asked 3 or 4 of my sisters to be there, because the way that I gave the offer was for a discovery session and just enter yes in the comments, and I'll send you the link to the calendar and you can sign up. And so I had a few of my sisters there, and I said, could you just put yes in the comments?
Yes.
So that there was some visible, like, people are excited. And so that everybody else who was watching was saying, oh, look, there's 4 yeses that just showed up immediately. And it made me feel good, even though I knew they were my sisters and, you know, they were doing it out of support to me. It was like I could feel that support. And then it wasn't just empty space anymore. I was talking to very tangible people. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you, Kia. Yes, that is so valuable. And to just, and again, go with the sisterhood that you're not doing this alone, and having that social proof also from people of saying, yes, yes, yes. That's awesome. Yes. Thank you for adding that in. All right. Other questions? I'm going down the list. So, Tamara, lower your hand.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for calling on me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Obsidian, for sharing. That was beautiful. And thanks for reminding us of the fear melters.
Oh, you're welcome.
So I just wanted to find out about teachable versus Schoology. Someone had brought that to my attention. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with that one. What I always say when looking at those different ones, just like open up a few tabs on your computer, see what the different options are as far as what they give you, the amount of space they allow you to upload. Like that's a one thing to look at to see if they cap out at a certain amount, what their monthly rate is, and just feel into the layout. Most of them also offer a free trial, usually for a week or so. And so you could check them out and go in there. So I just recommend taking a look in that way.
Okay. And then the other question was if anyone has experience with nonprofit and starting that as well. So I just didn't know, because I know you guys are involved in a lot of nonprofit activities.
But starting a nonprofit, particularly, like you're looking for.
Yeah, starting.
Yeah. So so that would be a great question to post on the Facebook group if you're wanting that to get everybody in leverage to see like any of you have direct experience with starting a nonprofit and getting there, because I know a few women have. And so that would be a great place to get that feedback on the Facebook page.
And the other thing was just transferring from basically a single practice, as a doctor for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to incorporate classes and, maybe a private Facebook group for those that are taking the classes.
Mm-hmm.
But my higher, deeper calling is like a completely different path with, really helping thought leaders dig deeper with animal messages and moving to the next level. So, and energy balancing and empowerment. So I'm just wondering, like, if you could speak to people that already have like a practice and are kind of weaning, because I see it as like that it can actually just feed into each other because they're obviously related. But I was curious of like how to structure the different things.
Yeah, well, if you're wanting to start to have, like, are you wanting to have like animal communication type?
Somewhat, but more animals as teachers. So it's the messages that they bring, animals as avatars. So actually leading retreat groups, swimming with wild dolphins, diving with the manta rays, like going to see the elephants in Africa, and all related to nonprofit work as well. So that way it's directly feeding each other at the same time.
Yeah, well, I think, if you're wanting to focus on that, then the first step could be starting to create a Facebook group around that kind of messaging, and you're starting to attract your ideal clients into there and be in that conversation. And yes, you may find people from your practice that you already have who are interested in, so you're reaching out to them, inviting them into the Facebook group, letting them know, hey, this is something I'm doing. We're going to have a free talk on this, starting to invite them over to check it out so that you get to know who's interested, who's already in your community, and finding out about that.
Okay. And then have like the separate classes that, knowledge that I'm just trying to get out, have that separate with my already, current clients.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes.
Thanks. Thanks for the tip.
You're so welcome. Great questions. I want to just give the announcements. I'm going to stay on. Don't worry. I see all the hands here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 hands. So I'm going to get through as many of those as possible. I just want to give the announcements for those of you who be here. One moment here. I've got to find the announcements tab. All right. So, this is a super important one. So we're going to have a bonus call access for this month. So Leverage and Lotus can join the ELA training calls on August 7th and the website training call on September 4th. And so you'll have that access in your forum, and we'll give you the recordings as well. But if you're wanting to join those live, they happen tomorrow, so you can look in your forum. They happen at 10 a.m. Wednesday training calls, and it's all in your calendar tab with the Zoom access link and all those things. But I just want to draw your attention to that if you're wanting to have some more around those things that happen in ELA. So signature story training with Serena tomorrow on August 7th, and then website training on September 4th. So check out your calendar tab. Also new, we've got the ability for you to go ahead and book your rooms for Hawaii. That is up. Lotus, you're going to be November 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, all those days. Leverage, November 19th to 21st. And the logistics and the room block info is all in your events tab. So just go take a look at your events tab after the call, and you can email support@sagelewine.com with your RSVP and let us know where you're staying, because there's only a certain number of rooms in the room block. We have a limited room block at Mauna Kea. And so if we need to add more rooms or ask them to save more rooms for us, if we're running out, then we just want to know from you if there's a need for more rooms. So take a look at that. And also, if you want to come to ELA Retreat, Rock the Stage, the speaker retreat, that's happening October 14th to 16th. So that information will also be in your events tab, but just a reminder about that. And last piece is we have a few more staff volunteer spots available for the September 8th to 10th Women Rocking Business Live. And just let you know, the setup day is September 7th. So it'll be September 7th to the 10th for you if you're wanting to come to that. And you just email support@sagedivine.com to apply. So Sylvia will get back to you about that. And this is where you can get behind the scenes event info. So you'll have free meals and intimate team connection time, and really get to have support fully with the behind the scenes aspect of how do you put on an event. So for those of you who are wanting to do events this year, I cannot recommend this enough. It is a major training ground to be able to see how all these pieces get put together. So we have a few more spots for that. So go ahead and email Sylvia and get in on that. And we also want to remind you about the Bring a Friend game. So awesome. Many of you have friends attending, and we want to celebrate you for getting in action on that. And we also, we know we have meetup events coming, like I said, tonight in Santa Cruz. So that event is on Facebook. You could always invite friends to join in if you have Santa Cruz friends. And then San Diego on August 13th. And so, and you can invite people to come to those, or just invite them directly to the Women Rocking Business Live event. So all that info is in the events tab again. So there's lots of stuff in your events tab for you to take a peek at. But this is all good for you to also see how we're doing those pieces, because this is exactly what we're suggesting you do is, not, for instance, we're not just going right to a live event, we're having the speaking engagements as well before the live event. And so they're both happening about a month prior to the live event to get that interest going. So that's all I've got for announcements right now. Kia, yeah?
Just a quick question about the September one. I know it's a smaller venue than the Santa Cruz March. Yeah. What is the size? I've had a couple people ask me that, and I almost want to be able to say it's more intimate and that kind of thing.
It is more intimate. I believe that the size is like we could fit a couple hundred.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And yeah, a couple hundred, and we have at least 100 already registered.
Perfect.
That part. Yeah. So definitely more intimate than 500.
Yeah. It does feel a lot different. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right, Stacy. I'm gonna unmute you, I think, or maybe you need to unmute. Yeah.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I was just referencing what you said. I actually went and saw it because I was looking at venues for mine. And so what's really cool about what she chose is that it has it overlooks water and the boats. So it's on the bay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it's pretty. And yeah, it's a different feel than the last one too. So
yeah.
But
yeah, it's a beautiful venue.
Yeah. So I was saying that, but I do have a question. Yeah, I was just going back to the process as far as the speaking events that we set up, like the meetups or the Eventbrites or whatever signature talks we're doing. In those talks, this is where I get confused. Am I positioning, like if my event is 2 to 3 months, and it's coming up, right? 3 months. Am I positioning a strategy session there, breakthrough session, or am I going straight into the, put your $100 seat deposit?
Yeah, good question.
Signature talk.
Mm-hmm. So at the signature talks, we offer direct to the seat deposit.
Okay.
The event. And so we just have that form there, and we talk about how, because you're here at the talk, we're wanting to give you a special rate for the ticket. So all you need to do is put down a seat deposit. The event is complimentary. And so when you hand in this form tonight before you leave, then you're reserving your seat deposit.
Cool. Now, what if you're on podcasts or radio or any of that, the online piece, are you also saying just seat deposit event and sending them all to your events page?
So it's great to be able to, so if you were on a podcast or a radio show, the events page is a good next step for people to get to find out about, but it depends how far in advance it is. So at the 3-month mark, you may still offer discovery sessions, because then you can offer them the event ticket as a next step when you're in that session with them. They may need a little more from you than they got in the podcast to be able to say yes. So it's a little different than being in person with you for an hour and a half or 2 hours at a speaking engagement. So I would say within the last month, it's really about like everything to the event, because you're not going to have time to do the one-off sessions. But 3 months out, you could still be doing some discovery sessions and then deciding if you're going to directly sell them into a program or you're going to invite them to come to the event.
Cool. Thank you. And, and this is random. Have you ever had people on the 3 days say, well, 3 days is a long time? Because I've gotten that a little bit lately, like that's a lot, because I know 3 days can be a lot. I also know the value, I've been to many in my life, but
yeah,
that's a good objection that's come up. Like recently I've heard that.
Yeah, well, I have had that. And what I toss back to people, because in each of you would be different in your niche, what you would say, but I in the business events that I've hosted, or for Women Rocking Business Live, when I'm talking to people about coming to that in September, I just say, yeah, and I'm curious what you want to create in your business this year. Like, I'm curious what you're stepping into. And then when they say like, oh, well, this is what I want. Like, I want to, then people usually say like, I want to publish a book and I want to have a TED Talk and I want to be, I want to have all these people in a group. And it's like, yeah, and that's going to take a lot. And what's true is there's a lot of business skills that's needed to be able to step into those things. And so we're going to give you a really strong foundation in 3 days to get you started. But your commitment to your business is going to be something that you'll be giving years of your life to. And so 3 days is really a drop in the bucket.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And so I push back on them a bit of like, well, how committed are you to this? Because if it's a hobby, maybe this isn't the place for you. And I even say things like that, because I do tend to be a little more fiery in that way. I'm like, well, if you're feeling like this is just a hobby, it might not be the right place to spend your time. But for those people who are really committed to growing their business, they love it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, hey, I'm committed. So
right.
Yeah. Or they're not. And they're like, okay, cool.
Yeah. And one more quick thing. This is totally, I'm switching gears. Kind of switching gears. Sage has a nonprofit she promotes during her events. You suggest doing that straight out, for your first event, also promoting a nonprofit to that effect, or is it something?
Well, I
don't want to take away from people signing up for my program,
No, and it's not going to take away. I mean, people are often donating like, fairly small amounts towards a nonprofit. So we've always had that component because it's really woven into Sage's business. And honestly, I've had so many conversations with people saying like, that's one of the major reasons that they chose to work with Women Rocking Business, because they love the give back. They love the nonprofit connection. That's important to them. And so this is a values piece. Like, I didn't have that piece in my business. I chose to focus more time on like having experiential things. Like, we had fire ceremonies and like burning obstacles and stuff like that. That was just like, I wanted to create more time with that. And I had like yoga and sensual dance evening experiences, and so I was showing in that like what was important to me and what was important for the self-care aspect and what I wanted women to have. And so it's about a values match piece for you of like, what's a big piece that you want people to really take away? Like, this is part of who you are and what you'll be standing for in your program. Obviously I love like charity and give back too, but that we just had different messages for what we wanted people to take away and see about us. And so that's the question for you, Stacy, to see like, is that an important piece you want people to take away? You have a charity that you're already aligned with, and you want to focus on that aspect. And so for each of you hosting events, like what are those key value pieces you want to translate to the clients in your room?
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Ellen, you're next. There. Oh, we both did it at the same time, I think. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay.
There you go. Yes.
Okay. Let me see. Well, I launched my little program. It's in person because I have to learn how to do stuff online. So most of it's in person for 6 months. And there's 4 people in it. And 3 of them had taken my 6-week sort of coaching counseling. I made a mistake.
Like that. Well, it sounds like what I want to celebrate first is you have a program, because I heard you saying like, I have a little program and it's in person. So I just want to clear that away. You have a program with 4 people in it. 3 of them were in your 6-week. So it sounds like that funnel worked to move people forward, to have a 6-week and then move people into a longer program with you. So congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm doing another signature talk on the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And the coach suggested I could still bring more people in because it's not too late. I could get them. So I'm hoping, because it's not really sustainable income, but they're paying. So that's great.
Income.
But, one of them isn't paying.
Okay.
And I made a mistake last September when I was first doing or new to doing the signature talks. She didn't have any money. I said, well, if I ever do my program, you can be my assistant. And so she's held me to that. And I tried to get out of it at one point, and then that kind of hurt her feelings. So I went, because it was so overwhelming to think I was preparing for the group. And then I also had to prepare, how am I going to use her as an assistant with only 4 people? I don't really need an assistant. But then she was hurt by that. So then I said, well, why don't you take the program as a potential assistant and sort of get training that way? And then I don't have to do a lot to train her. But she comes with no skills. I didn't realize that. And she's actually a little bit critical. And part of my training is teaching people how to not give advice and do those kind of constructive criticism things. So hopefully she'll just learn that along the way.
No. Okay, I'm going to stop you here, Ellen.
Okay, I don't know what
to do. Fear melters again. So it sounds like she is kind of holding you hostage.
Yeah.
Like there's that energy of client in charge. And so we need to flip that. You're in charge.
Yes.
Not her.
Yes.
And that means you could change your agreement if needed. And part of this is going back and being able to clear up agreements, clearing up like, yeah, you know what? I said that. Like I said after that signature talk, like, sure, you could be an assistant. And what I recognize is in my process of still learning, I totally missed this really essential step of needing to know what are the skills you bring and interviewing you and finding out like, are we a good match to work together? And I recognize that we actually need to go and do that step because I need someone that can do X, Y, and Z to be able to be my assistant.
Okay, so I have to go back and reject her again, kind of. I already did it once and then
You're not rejecting her. So this isn't like who gets to sit at the lunch table. Okay. This is she qualified to do the position?
No, but she is an extra body in the room. So if there's only 4 of us, I can do pair work.
And is she adding value?
I don't know, because my first group, I only had the 2 come and then one joined by Zoom and then the other couldn't make it. So this Thursday, they're all going to be there. But I noticed the one woman she's a natural supportive leader. She was a bit grumpy at the end, and I had them doing a lot of pair work, and I was doing pair work with the woman on Zoom. Yeah. And I wonder if this person didn't treat her well or something, didn't know she was. Or
So it sounds like there's just a way for you to be able to clear up some of this communication and have these conversations that can feel really uncomfortable as leaders for us to step into having like, oh yeah, I take responsibility for how that first conversation went. And, you're owning, you're not blaming it on her. You're saying like, yeah, I didn't check in with myself. I just said this offhandedly, and I recognize I need to go back and actually clean this up. And if she starts saying, yeah, but you said, and it's like, yes, and that's exactly what I'm owning. I said that, and I need to make a new agreement now, one that's going to work for the situation that we're in. And it sounds like one conversation you're definitely going to need to have with her at least is this aspect of your values and the foundation of the way you want communication to happen within the group. So not just hoping she's going to pick up on it, but be direct with her. Tell her, like, here's some of the things that I really need. And you can even say, and if that's not a fit for you, I totally get it. I want you to be in alignment with yourself. But if this isn't in alignment with you, we're going to need to go our separate ways.
And what about the others feeling, I mean, I imagine they would feel resentful if they found out she wasn't paying anything too, because they have their money issues and they work through them.
Right. And so in that way, I mean, it's really, she's there as an assistant. And so there's also going to be ways for you to step in to see what kind of support do you need? So if you're going to be hosting speaking engagements, how can she then like send out the meetup invitations, like, you know, tag people on Facebook, like some of those things. If she's really going to be stepping into an assistant role, it doesn't mean that she just gets to do nothing.
Yeah.
So it's on you to train.
She has less skills than I do, which is
yeah. So it sounds like it's just a no, really.
So I have to tell her not to come.
Well, you don't have to do anything. You get to decide. You get to decide, but you're
that would be the right thing to do for myself.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be a great way for you to create a boundary to say, you know what, like this, the level of support that I need isn't a match for, you know, the skills that you bring. And, you know I take full responsibility for not discussing that, not interviewing you in the beginning, but I just recognize like this is really what I need. Yeah. Yeah. Jennifer, you have a comment on that? Yeah, go ahead.
Did you mute me already?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say that it's really easy in this kind of work to fall into, in my energy healing work, we call that the rescuer archetype or the martyr, which is, you know, you have the best intent, like you really want to help people, but then the energetic balance in between giving and receiving goes off. Mm-hmm. And what happens after that is that you end up feeling resentful in the end because you've been giving too much and you're not getting an equal energetic return. And, you know, at the end of the day, you're not doing them a favor or you yourself a favor because there's going to be resentment, right? Yeah, and you're going to get stuck in that. That's one thing. And the other thing I wanted to say real quick about obsidian, what you were saying, I've been facing that too. I call it perfectionism, right? This idea that if I control everything and I do everything perfectly, I can guarantee that I will be successful, right? And the fear that, well, if I take that step forward and it's not perfect, then I will be rejected and people won't buy my product or whatever. But what really helped me is something that you mentioned earlier, Megan, is the whole idea of not taking it too seriously. Mm-hmm. That when you said that, I thought it was so funny because I was even talking to one of my partners in the board of directors. We were talking about that, about this idea of just like, it's not do or die, just kind of trying it out.
Yes.
If it doesn't work out, it's okay. You can just redo it next time differently, but just try things out because that's the only way to find out if it'll be successful or not. Daring to fail greatly.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, I hope that helps a little bit. That was my 2 cents.
Thanks, Jennifer. Mwah. Thank you. And yes, Ellen, you've got to have a conversation of some kind to clear this up, because you wouldn't be bringing it to us if it wasn't, you know, weighing on your mind. And
no, it's bothering me. I'm staying up late worrying about it, and she's problem, whereas the others are so in, and I love them.
Yeah. So what's true is our businesses as CEOs, it's going to be full of uncomfortable conversations. Yay! So we can just accept that right now. Like, oh my gosh, this is one of a series of uncomfortable conversations that I'm going to have. And it gets better and better when you really learn to like, oh, you've got so much learning from this already, but the pause, like, oh yeah, someone saying they want something from me. Thank you so much for your request. Like, let me think about that and I'll connect back in with you. And then you can ask for what the next steps are that you're wanting. You don't owe them anything.
And I've learned that from September to now, but the mistake I made in September, I'm having to fix now. But
yeah, and that's it. Now you get to go back and clean it up.
yeah. Okay.
We're all sending you lots of love in your uncomfortable conversation. And my recommendation is to close that gap as soon as possible, which means have the conversation like today.
On the phone or?
Yep, you can have it on the phone. Phone's a great barrier. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. You're strong enough. You can do this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna keep moving through questions. Vanessa.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you, Megan.
You as well.
For some reason, I'm getting overwhelmed with what to offer. Like, let me back up. So I have a November event, 8th, 9th, and 10th. I'm setting up my registration website this week. That's my big goal, so that I have somewhere to send people to register, and they're going to be paying for food and lodging, or just food if they're coming for the day. And I have mapped out 3 Facebook challenges and 3 speaking events before then.
Yes.
As funnels.
Yes.
And for some reason, I'm getting confused about what to offer at each of those. Am I pulling them into a discovery session? Am I offering the seat deposit, like what you were just saying?
Well, it's similar to what we were saying to Stacy. Yeah. So it's really about get them to the event. You're putting on all this work to the event, and it's really about getting them there.
Okay. So in some of our trainings, it was get them into the discovery session to then build some relationship with them and then offer them the tickets. But really at this timing where it's 3 months, 3 months out, I just want to be offering.
Right. Well, so it's the dual answer. I know it's confusing because I said that to Stacy, like if you're not having long enough to build the relationship with them, like at an event or speaking engagement, workshop, then you have longer to be able to build that relationship and you can direct offer to them. If you were just doing, like something short, like a podcast interview, something where they didn't maybe get to connect with you as much, you could offer a discovery session early on when you still have the time to do them. But within that last month to 6 weeks, you're not going to have the space. You're going to be focusing all on the event, and it's really about getting people there. So when people have a discovery session with you, you're still going to want to be inviting them into the event from the discovery session, most likely, because the event is going to do wonders for converting compared to just talking with you for 30 minutes.
Okay.
They have 3 days. If someone can't possibly get to the event, then it may be a bigger conversation with them about next steps to work with you. But really the focus is on getting them to the event.
All right. And then so that longer conversation, maybe I would follow up with a second session, that kind of thing, where I give them something to work on and then I have a second conversation with them.
Yes.
Okay. And then what if they're just like, I need help now and they don't want to wait to come to this event and they're not really interested in like waiting till January. I'm guessing, and I just want to throw it there, like that I would offer them an option to work with me leading up to the group program, and that I would be seeding my group program throughout those sessions. Potentially, like spend 3 months with me, give them a 3-month package leading up to December, and then knowing that I'm going to try to re-enroll them in the group program for January. Does that seem like a good plan?
Yeah. So that's a good plan. And the main thing is you're just getting people to come to the event as much as possible is the focus on. So for everything that you're doing right now with all the Facebook Live challenges and with the small workshops and speaking engagements, then you're focusing on that as the main thing.
Okay, so when I'm talking about the people who know that they can't come to the event but want help now,
yeah,
they enroll them in a smaller package. But
yeah, something that you either have one-on-one work with them, or if you have a shorter program that they can do now. You don't want to have the gap where they're waiting to start a program with everybody else in January, for instance.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you do want to fill in that gap to get them active now.
Okay, but really, because of this is I'm transitioning from having only private clients to my first group program, and I'm really wanting to put like all my eggs into the group program as much as possible.
Yes, yeah.
And that's like a big transition for me. So this also goes with my re-enrollment clients, because I have folks ending in September, October, November, and December for my 6-month cycles.
Mm-hmm.
So am I also trying to say, let's fill in the gap, and then what about the group, like kind of bridge them into the group program? I mean,
yeah, you'd be re-enrolling, inviting them into the group program to move forward and talking about why it's going to be beneficial for them. You could, of course, invite them to come to the event as well. Okay.
And then if they need a bridge in between, of course, I can offer that, but that's not the end all be all. Like, I'm really trying to move into the group program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I found myself offering, I'm like, in these conversations in June and July with folks, which seemed a little early for me to do the live event because I hadn't set it up yet, and offering a 6-month program, and I enrolled 0 people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm realizing part of it was that I was like, do I really want to commit to this 6-month and master classes all the way up, overlapping with my group program? And I realized my heart wasn't fully in it in those offers, because I was kind of like unclear about whether I really wanted to be with them for 6 months.
So important to notice that and see where you're out of alignment, because that will happen for sure. Not when you're not in alignment.
Right. So anyways, it's a kind of an interesting reflection period after getting a lot of discovery sessions and having no one sign up. And there were many factors of that also, but that was I think that was at the heart of it, where I wasn't clear. I'm like, we're going to have an amazing 6 months together. I was kind of like, yeah, we'll do these 6 months, I think, So anyways, I just love all the mindset work we do, because it really energetically does create a different kind of magnet. I think I wasn't pulling in, I was actually pushing back, maybe avoid doing the 1 foot out thing. So thank you for that tool today. That was really helpful.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you.
I know we're coming down to time here. I'm going to get to a couple more. Michelle, I'm gonna have you unmute yourself. Oh, there we go.
Got me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Logistically, when you said money loves structure, that was huge for me, because those are the parts that I need the most help with.
Mm-hmm.
As far as automating things or syncing them up for emails and payments and keeping track of people's emails.
Mm-hmm.
I currently have a GoDaddy website, a constant contact email, private email lists, a new scheduler, I think it's Acuity, monthly, let's see, to do monthly payments. I'm not sure how to set that up. I use MindBody for the Soul Center in my private practice, and that's how people pay, and we do collections that way. And then I have Zoom. So I got to a point where I'm kind of like all these things going like this, and I think it's okay, but I'm wondering if moving forward, is there one platform or somebody, maybe I need to hire somebody or someone that you can recommend that can help me? That's where I'm stuck. I got stuck with the systems.
Yeah, so it sounds like a system to receive the money.
No, well, let's see. So if I wanted to start automating emails, for example, something as simple as getting my 10 steps to a major transformation free gift, and then have a client, and then have their email, and then send them more emails, and then collect from that same platform if something exists.
Yes, Entreport.
Awesome, and it does all of that.
Yes, it does all of those things. Yes, I love Entreport for that.
Oh, thank you. Okay, great.
Yes, you're welcome. That's what we use. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it does landing pages too, and you can have thank you pages, and all of the things.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great, easy question. All right, Rachel Cooley, you had your hand up. Are you still?
Hi.
Are you still able? Yeah. Hi.
My question, Megan, is pretty quick. I'm just wondering for Facebook challenge, I know that's probably two ways to do it. One is having people opt in to it, like me get their email, or can I just like, without a lot of time to set it up, just like start announcing it on my group and on my regular timeline?
Yeah. For Facebook challenge, you could announce it on your personal page, in your Facebook group, on your business page. You could create a Facebook event as well for a Facebook challenge, a Facebook training. So it's just like any other event that you might have in person, and you're inviting people into that. Yeah. So if if you have emails to send to, you could send to that email list and let them know as well, this is happening. And those are the main areas.
That sounds good. And do you think it would be okay, like to start announcing today or tomorrow that I'm going to do one next week, like a 3-day one? Or is that okay?
Yeah. So typically you don't need to announce that far in advance. It's like usually 5 days.
Okay.
4 or 5 days in advance that you'd be starting to talk about it.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Easy. And Rebecca, thanks for your patience. Unmuting
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks. I just have a couple cascading Facebook questions for Facebook group. I'm building my group, my business group from zero. So is there anything in the library or any tips you have for doing that? I think I could have started sooner, but that intimidation of like inviting people to an empty room has stalled me a little bit.
Yeah, and so we definitely have some things in the library around Facebook groups. So you can just search, if you just do the search function, like Command F on a Mac, and I'm not sure on other computers, but on a Mac it's Command F in the library, and then you can search like Facebook and see which things come up that have that in there. So you would find any tools related to the Facebook groups. The main thing I would say is just not worrying about it needing to have a lot of people in there right now. It's about you providing the content, you being consistent in the way you show up in the group. That's really the main thing. And so you could invite, for instance, some sisters from Leverage to join you over in the group. So you've got some people already in there. Or if you have some current clients or friends that, people that you can buffer it and have some people in there. But people don't necessarily want to just be part of groups with thousands of people. They want to be seen and heard and welcomed in. And so those customized welcomes, like Facebook groups, tell you who are the new people who joined your group this week, for instance. And you can do that little customized welcome to those people and post in the group. So there's a lot of ways that you can really be engaging with those ones that are there. So it's not about the numbers. And I would just say, at the beginning, everybody starts with 0. We're all in the same playing field. Yeah.
Great. And then the next question was kind of where you were going with the idea of engagement of like, what do you recommend in terms of how many times? Like, is it twice a day? Is there some sort of formula for like what level of engagement we're providing when we're starting?
It's like 3 to 5 times a week is a great starting place to be able to be doing some posts in there. And, maybe you share something that's interesting. And then another one, you're doing a short video. We ultimately recommend that you do a weekly video into your group. So that would be the next place. And then just one can be a post with a question, asking for some engagement from the group. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then in terms of directing them kind of from the Facebook group to my actual email list, is that where like challenges, offering free gifts and stuff in the group come in? And is it too soon to start priming that pump right away so that, I'm able to communicate with them in a different way through email?
No, yeah, you can start communicating that way, and you can also email people and let them know the Facebook group is there. Like if you have your people already on an email list, you can be letting them know, join in the Facebook group and what's going to be happening over there. So it's a prime way to start to build the group, inviting people in from your list. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. When are you going to get your group?
Today.
You're welcome. When are you going to get your group started?
This week.
This week. Great. Congratulations. And let us know. You can post it in the leverage group when it gets started and say, hey, this is happening.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, last two questions. Just quickly, I've got about 5 more minutes. So Nancy.
Hi, lovely Megan. Hi, lovely women. I have a quick question. We were talking about meetup groups and our signature talks. My question is, I have a venue that I could do either regular signature talks, or I'm wondering if I should use that as actually it's free. Should I use that for a meetup group or my talks?
It's the same thing. So yeah, so market your talks in your meetup group and host them at free venue is awesome. So you invite people in through meetup and then through the other ways that we've talked about as well, and making it the same thing. So signature talks, meetup, it's all one and the same.
Okay, that was my oh, you had mentioned before, I thought you had said about paying for like a series of meetups.
Oh, meaning you have to.
Correct in hearing that?
What I mean by that is meetup itself, like meetup.com has a fee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just to use meetup.com, they have a fee.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's usually 6 months is what I think. That's what I've done.
Okay. Yeah, that cleared that one up. Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Nancy. And last question, Kira, thanks for your patience, making it through.
Thanks for staying on and taking my question. I am in the middle of my Facebook challenge right now, and I had this plan in my mind about how I was going to see the offer, and I just have done 2 days of a 4-day challenge. And I feel like I'm giving great content and then I'm totally forgetting to be guiding them. And so can you give me some tips for these last 2 days of how to really hone in guiding the participants into the offering?
Good question. So great catch that you're noticing that you're not really, like, you don't feel like you're guiding them so much. And so the main thing is to make sure that you're planting those seeds for what's going to happen after the challenge. And so you start talking about it in that way of, like, you know, we've only got another couple sessions in this training. And, you know, what's true is for many of you, you need a lot more support than this. And I'm going to be opening up a few spots in my calendar to give you one-on-one breakthrough sessions. And then you talk about what's going to happen in those sessions. So you get really clear on what they're going to take away from the sessions that's different than what they're taking away from the training. And speaking about that, so you're planting the seeds for why they need to take that next step with you, and then moving them forward in that way, and give them the link directly to book in these last 2 Facebook Lives.
Okay, the link to book lives. Okay, that helps. And so even starting the next video, when I go live tomorrow morning, even start the video with, you've gotten so much content already, we only have 2 more days. And
yeah, and be specific, like in the last couple of days of training, we've gone over X, Y, and then like what we're going to be working on today and tomorrow is, but and then so you could talk about that, and then partway through you'll say, even though we're doing so much this, you're still missing a few pieces that I can really only get you when we talk one-on-one and talk about why it's individualized and how you really want to give them that level of support.
Okay. Okay, I think I got it. I'm getting a little bit of that freezing.
I can tell. Yeah. So wiggling your body. See, it's all welcome here. We can wiggle on video. And so, like, really what happens is your breath goes away and then the body gets tight, and then we forget, like, the things that are just so necessary as part of it. So write yourself out sticky notes or on a piece of paper, like step 1, 2, 3, 4, have it right in front of you so that if you start to freeze or faint, then you've got it and you can just say, okay, I'm going to look at that. Oh, and I'm looking over, and you can even look down at the paper. Like, I'm looking over at all the things that we've done. On day 1, we got to do this and this and this and this. And then, oh my gosh, on day 2, we did this and this. And I'm so excited to be with you here today because we're going to be doing this today. And you have your page and you can look down and up, and that's totally fine. But just get there, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. That's another good way to do it. It's just like toes moving. That's invisible. Yeah. All right. Big deep breaths. Thanks for staying, all of you, for staying on. And just unmute yourselves. And then raising your arms up. When we raise our arms up, we raise our energy, we raise our vibration. Right? It's power pose, power stance. Look up. So you're opening the whole front of your throat because you're moving off into your empowered, powerful day today to do all kinds of scary new things. You're amazing. Give your whole body a shake and say, oh, make any sound that wants to come out. And then take all the juice that you feel from this call into action as you move forward into your day. And I look forward to seeing some of you tonight that are local at the meetup, and the rest of you next week on the
Thank you.
Mwah, thank you. Bye. Have a
Bye.
beautiful day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.